크리스마스가 Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. I know for many of you Easter was in April, but here in Georgia we celebrate Easter this year on the 2nd of May, which is today as I'm filming this. My name is Jim. Welcome to my channel about books and reading and stuff. In this video I'll be reviewing The Bone Jar by S W Kane. I've read a lot of globally diverse books recently. This one though takes me back to familiar territory. This is a police procedural set in South London. My parents used to watch a lot of TV police dramas in the 80s and 90s, and this reminded me of those. Although this is S W Kane's first book and it was just published in 2020, last year. The setting is an abandoned lunatic asylum on the banks of the River Thames in South London. A security guard finds the body of an octogenarian who's clearly been murdered. Her face is bruised, her jaw is broken. It turns out that the octogenarian found there used to be a nurse at the lunatic asylum many years before, when it was operating as a lunatic asylum, so she has a connection to the place, but there's a mystery as to how the body ended up in this lunatic asylum, because it's been fenced off and this is an 80-year-old lady. She couldn't exactly climb over the fence, and of course who did her in. The bone jar of the title is a circular room where they keep the urns of the cremated ashes of previous inmates of the asylum. I won't tell you any more about it because that would be in spoiler territory. D.I. Kirby isn't a drunk or a maverick like many of the D.I.s we follow, but he does have his idiosyncrasies. He lives on a houseboat on the Thames, and his prized possession is his Citroen SM. This is a classic French car from the 1970s. His is green. This one is a Corgi one, which is pink. On the box there's a green one. But he's a standard detective inspector. He's not philandering. He's not overly depressed. He might get rather too little sleep, but he plays it by the book mostly. As D.I. Kirby digs deeper into the mystery, he uncovers many potential suspects. He also meets with Connie. Connie is an urban explorer. This novel is mostly told from the point of view of Kirby and from Connie. Connie's sister died mysteriously a few years before this in the grounds of this dilapidated asylum. D.I. Kirby does have a partner, Pete Anderson, but he is underused in this story. There's not a lot of repartee between them. All I can remember of this Pete Anderson is his fondness for bacon sandwiches. Kirby is thinking of the eerie silence of the site. It was so quiet, reckon I'd have heard an ant's shit, he thinks. Compare this with Banana Yoshimoto. The night was so deadly silent that I felt that I could hear the sound of the stars moving across the heaven. Which do you prefer? The problem I have with profanity is not the use of bad language, it's that it takes me out of the story. It breaks the third wall, if you like. I enjoyed this book. It was a good page turner. I was gripped by the story most of the time, apart from when the profanity took me out of the story and broke that third wall. I found there were rather too many characters. It was difficult to keep track of them all in my mind. I also thought there were rather too many coincidences of how people were connected to other people and how people met up with people. There were rather too many coincidences. This reminds me of Dickens' work, where there's an awful lot of coincidences. But I would recommend this if you like police procedurals, if you like shows like Taggart or A Touch of Frost. You will enjoy this, I think. So that was my review of The Bone Jar by S W Kane. If you like this review, you can like and subscribe below. And I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.
Jaszka. Musiałam dotknąć. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Okay, go.
En ik heb het gedaan.
Good.
Czego to? O, cię mi zgadł.